In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
But
sometimes on the pod I accidentally curse. You know that in real life I curse. Like you've seen. Yeah.
we're recording, by the way. Just FYI.
There's a big bar that comes up. Wait, before you record or before we get into it, Chadwick,
Yeah.
how do you guys know each other?
Frank, he sold me some shady cars once upon a time, and going out to see the cars, it turned into like 3-hour conversations. So, as you can imagine, with Frank,
the original car was the '89 Taurus SHO, I believe.
That's right. Yep.
So that's
you're still Frank's show on my phone. So
yeah, you're show Chad in my phone. So there you go. That's how this works out.
Can't make this stuff up.
All right, Chadwick, what the hell are we doing? Will you bring us in?
What are we, dude? What are we doing? So welcome back to another Pointless Automotive podcast. You recognize Frank. You might not recognize this other guy, Doug. Something. Welcome to the.
Oh, he's playing with fire.
Well, he just lit a fantastic candle. We'll guess the fragrance. That'll be part of the quiz later in the show. But Doug, first off, apologies for joining us on this circus. But we're super glad to have you, man.
I appreciate you having me. I really truly do. Frank is one of my automotive heroes. So.
Oh boy, I don't know about that.
No, it's true. Frank is one of my automotive heroes. I'm not exaggerating.
I do owe you.
Oh my
I do
God.
owe you something, and that is a go in the car behind me, the Chevy Sprint Turbo.
Are we going to review this and sell it?
Yeah, I gotta bring it down.
You going to sell it?
Yeah. I have. It needs to go to someone who's going to use it more than I do because I have too many shit boxes, and so I'll let you play with this one and do the whole song and dance, and we'll let it rip, no reserve. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. And I do think, I guess, just to segue us in, this is a random, cheap, fun car from the 1980s. And I don't know, it kind of seems like it's hard to go out and buy an affordable, cheap, fun thing in the automotive world. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not true. I think it's true. So that's what we're going to talk about. The death of fun.
Frank, I'm going to give you a quick counterpoint, and that's the Dodge Charger EV.
Yeah, that one right up his sleeve.
Back when that was available, which hope to God is no longer, you could lease one of those for like $190 a month.
That's true.
Shocking.
And get it, Charger, shocking.
EV.
Do they burst into flames like other electric Stellantis products? Or,
that would add to the
BD?
Fun. Keep in mind, you're making the point that fun. Imagine if you drove around in a Charger EV and went 0 to 60 in 3 seconds or whatever it is in that giant thing, and then it burst into flames. You can't tell me that's not fun.
Exhilarating.
Yeah.
It's.
Do they have a sound synthesizer that does the Hemi tick like artificially? Would that be absolutely fantastic?
Yeah, the fratzonic. What do they call it?
Yeah.
Fapsonic. Yeah, it's no, that's I don't know. Like I guess just other than of course the EV charger, which I assume is the scent of your candle. What like are there any? Does this bear out? And I guess actually before that, like how do we define what a fun car is?
Oh,
right. Because I think there's a couple different angles to take there. I don't know, Chadwick. What do you consider to be a fun car?
I'll shoot my shot here.
Real quick, I assume we're talking specifically about new cars. That's the point.
Yeah. In new on the market today.
Yeah. Fun to me, and actually it does have a bit of a historical car thing to it too, though, is simple in nature, more of an analog experience, low maintenance cost. Reliability, because that's the counter to that kind of takes away the fun for me anyway. I want to be able to go out and cane on the car a little bit, have some fun, ride it hard and put it away wet, if you will. Live my life according to that. That's what it means to me. That's what it means for a fun car to me. I'll pass the mic.
Chadwick, take me back to an era where you feel the fun car was really rocking it.
Dude, I've always quoted late 80s, early 90s.
It is.
Yep, early 90s too. I think we had a big...
What were our cheap fun cars in that, like, 1990?
Miata, hitting the scene, right? Like, I also, to be fair, and this is a little bit of a disclaimer, I like shitty domestic cars too. So like Cavalier Z24s, they really rev my engine, if you will. So
I would argue,
Ooh.
okay, Miata, I totally agree, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And then Miata is still available and still cheap. I mean, honestly, you see that
Absolutely.
graph the other
Yeah.
day that today's Miata is like the cheapest ever when you
Yeah.
account for inflation.
It's wild.
Miata's still here and still cheap. I would argue that the Z24 Cavalier was never actually a fun car. It only pretended to be one.
Did you see past the cladding? Is that what I'm hearing? It had so much cladding. Had a good rubbery 5-speed, a 2.8 anemic V6 by GM.
Oh, you're
There's so
talking
much
about
to
that
love.
Z24 Cavalier. You're not even
No
talking
quad
about-
4.
Go easy now.
I'll interject though, because I do think, and it's funny, Doug, I know a lot of times you've said your opinion is that like peak car is probably like mid 2000s, right? 05 ish.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said for that. For me, when I think, peak fun car is I do want to say like the early 90s, because you did have things, early to mid 90s, you had Integra GSR, you had the CRX, you had the Prelude, the Celica, the Probe, you had the Escort GT.
That's an interesting point. Like, I think the one truth of what you're saying, what you're both saying, is that in that era, there was definitely more of a focus on whether or not all of those cars are actually fun by today's standards, or even were really fun by those standards. We all just were young and thought they were. But regardless, there were more coupes. There was more of a focus on like making a sporty-ish car, several sporty-ish cars in your lineup. Like any automaker could get away with having 4 coupes in the early 90s.
Yeah,
and that is
true.
Absolutely not the case. And in that sense, I think you're right. It's interesting. I was having a conversation about this very topic with Nissan product planner people a couple of years ago. And one of the things they told me that they think killed the fun car that you're referring to, which is like not the high-powered, like exotic car, but like just the guy buys it and it's efficient, but you can take it to work and have fun on the way, is the crossover, because crossovers no longer, you can have the same level of performance and also sit up high, and you no longer have to make the trade-off that you did in an XJ where the fuel economy was terrible and it was rough riding and all that stuff. And he was like, we think that the Rogue is like kind of what killed like the 240SX in a way. Like people, because if you look at the numbers, they're not that far apart, but people no longer really wanted, like, that they'd added practicality without really sacrificing like SUVs did throughout the era that you're referring to, where SUVs were all body on frame bullshit. No one wanted to buy those cars back then. But then they became pretty usable,
Right. But what's interesting too is, and you mentioned something about like, we're perceiving them now as fun. Right? Like a Paseo in a vacuum is probably not a terribly fun thing. I think it's eminently cool, and I really would love a clean Paseo, but I'm also an idiot. And so, but I do think there is value in the perception of fun, right? And whimsy, right? Like the 99 New Beetle, I think, is a fun thing, even if it's just in whimsy and not necessarily in driving experience.
Do you think that the PT Cruiser was fun?
I think for the people that bought it in period, that absolutely was a fun thing. It was this kind of retro thing, and look how quirky it is, and it's got wood paneling, and I can get it in eggplant emoji purple.
I would argue, though, that then you can go kind of far with that. I mean, I will say one thing. What's a fun car that sells in massive numbers today, by your definition, is the Jeep Wrangler.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's a cogent point.
And they're not that expensive. Regular low-end Jeep Wranglers are not crazy expensive.
And then you have the Rubicon Unlimited Rubber Duck
Edition. Which is what most people buy. But you can get a pretty basic Wrangler and have fun in a Bronco, 4-cylinder steel wheel Bronco, for not insane money.
Those are actually killer. Every time I see one of those, I'm like, oh my God, somebody ordered the steel wheel 2-door 4-cylinder Bronco, and I'm jealous of them. Yeah.
I do think that those types of people probably would have bought a Prelude and a Paseo back in the day. But now, for a lot of reasons, off-roading has kind of really taken hold. And that's where a lot of some of those buyers have gone as well.
What about some of that era, the fun, quirky crossovers from that same era, whether it be the Amigo or the X90 or the Tracker.
You got to remember though.
Yeah.
Every single two-door SUV in history has failed without exception. Every single one.
Wrangler's knocking on the door, but
yeah, the Wrangler's like the exception that proves the rule. It's like the one that has remained, but even it is like 85% four-door now. Right.
Yeah.
And so you kind of see where it's going. I don't know. I just think that was a fun era of cars. It was fun in the sense that they made these these two-door sporty-ish cars, and people kind of moved on from cars in an interesting, like literal cars in an interesting way. And I think there's still like fun out there in the market. I do agree it's gotten more expensive, generally, but like there are still fun cars out there in the world.
I love how Frank is being extra stoic and freezing in place right now. What a
oh wow! Look at that! I didn't even notice.
Trick.
This is a new thing that I'm doing now. So I get this is cool and great.
It's in post. I'll edit your face moving around in a very interesting manner.
Fabulous. Okay, great. But as long as you can still hear me, then that's
you can't. You're done. You can't be. You're not. I can't see you move anymore.
Does this harsh or mellow? Should I close out and log back in, or should we just let it ride?
Well, you should. Don't you think you should close out and log back? How do you? Right. What do you?
Let me try that. I'll have to send a new invite.
We did get a solid 15 out of you this time, though, so that's impressive.
So, okay. Well, let me do that. There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm going to let that one ride. But let me.
You added to it.
Let me close out, and then I will just email everyone new links here in 40 seconds.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Oh, goodbye. Remember where we wrap? We will figure it out. Yeah, fun cars. What the hell else is out there currently?
You're lamenting the death of the little two-door front-wheel drive coupe. You wish that instead of being able to buy a Sentra, that there was also a 200SX and a 240SX and all that stuff.
NX2000.
An NX2000, a Pulsar. You wish there was all there.
Yes, I want all.
Let me make some proclamations.
Please do.
First off, there are some fun cars. There are still some relatively fun, cheap cars out there. Relatively cheap, fun cars out there. Beyond just the SUVs, like the Bronco and the Wrangler.
Sure.
The BRZ and the GR86 are damn good and not that expensive.
Correct.
The Miata is damn good and not that expensive.
Correct.
And those three, by the way, are better than any of the front-wheel drive early 90s cars.
And I guess maybe that's the crux of this, is maybe what we're actually lamenting is the lack of like depth in choice, whether they're good choices or not, be damned. Right. Well, maybe it's just, I don't know.
There's not the dynamic range there used to be either, right? Like the delta between, I don't know, like I said, a Ford Escort or a Toyota MR2 from the early 90s, right? Vastly different cars. MR2 was always an affordable kind of sporty aspiration car, which we don't really have an analog for today. Modern MR2 coming back conversations aside, which it won't be.
You don't think that the GR86 is kind of that? Like, I think the GR86 is so good and I think it's cool.
I agree with you, but I think it's more an analog to like a 240SX than an MR2, right?
Yeah, I mean it's less purpose-built sports car. Like an MR2 was I saw an SW20 on the road today, and I'm like,
they're so cool.
Imagine a world where that was going on, you know?
Like, just casually. And guess what? No one bought them, and 95 rolled around, and then they killed it off. I want an AW11 supercharged car personally.
Same.
But
I like the Turbo 8 SW20s. I think those are the coolest. We had the cleanest one on the site, and I reviewed it. Yeah. And I was driving around and thinking, if it wasn't for the fact that I have an ego and need to prove myself with my supercars, this does about 80% of the job. And it's reliable and it's cool, like really cool. And you don't feel that way about the GR86. I agree with that. That's true for sure.
Oh, and okay, so we have Miata and GR86, and then maybe GTI.
Barely. I mean, sticking around for every year. The lineup is pared down a little bit more and a little bit more. They don't even offer a stick anymore in that car.
Wow,
shame.
Is that it? Is that a wrap? 500?
No. No. Wait, hang on. I just did a thing on this with the WRX is still out there, which by the way was not out there in the early 90s, and WRX is not that expensive. Hyundai has all those N cars, so there's an Elantra.
I want an Elantra N, genuinely.
I think those are cool as hell. That exists. So take that.
Mhm.
The Z is not crazy money, but it's starting to get up there beyond what we're talking about for sure. Civic Si, that's still around. That would have worked if that existed in the early 90s. That would have, and which it did in some ways.
Same recipe.
Yeah, it's like
that would have
the Mercury Tracer LTS.
Yep.
It's practically the same car.
Essentially.
Yeah.
The Mercury Tracer LTS.
Yeah.
I could speak to that car a little bit. No, it's a 4-door small diminutive sedan that had the Escort GT engine stuffed into it, which was a Mazda.
I never knew that there was a Mercury version. Wow. That is a deep cut. It is very rare that I don't know about something from the late 80s and early 90s.
Oh yeah, that's our wheelhouse. Well, Chadwick here owned one for an hour, so
yeah. No, I had it for quite a bit. Yeah,
I haven't seen that generation Escort or Tracer on the road in forever.
I've had both of them.
I was in Munich 2 years ago and I saw the next generation Tracer on the road.
Whoa. Hot damn.
That's dedication.
How sweet would it be to import one from Munich to the States?
And then you have a Euro rear fog light on it and like a KM speedometer.
You leave the Euro plate on it and put the California plate over it just to kind of flex.
People be like, "What do you mean? You're wrong." No, actually,
you're wrong.
You know what you haven't brought up, by the way, which was a big deal back in that era, was all the turbo Chryslers. Those cars have never, like, there's no replacement for those. Like, Chrysler doesn't even make a car anymore. Like
the Daytona Shelbys and the Chargers and the Shadows and
I love
Dodge Colt turbos,
Spirit RT. I love all those cars.
Yeah,
none of them exist anymore.
No, they're hard to come by. I had a Shelby Turbo Z 88 Daytona back in the day, and it was super nice. I sold it on this shady platform known as Cars and Bids. I don't know if you guys heard of that one.
Those cars in nice shape, they like literally do not exist. Like they were all. The other day, I'm driving along and I hear and I look over and it's a Neon SRT4. I'm like, damn, someone's still driving like a modded Neon SRT4. That was 20 years after the cars that we're talking about. Like all those Shadow turbos and all that stuff. Even the Omnis, like they're all gone. But yeah, those cars there were definitely more back then. There's no doubt there were more back then.
Or even convertibles. Yeah. Like who's making convertibles anymore?
Yeah,
that are wildly expensive. I think
about this a lot. Like it's wild when you really think about it. In the early 90s, there was a convertible version of everything. The fact that they made a Cavalier convertible by modern standards is like truly mind-blowing. That they would take their compact car, which manufacturers can't even justify making compact sedans anymore, right?
Right.
And they made a convertible in multiple generations. Like it's truly mind-blowing to consider that ever was a thing that happened.
Frank's Geo Metro convertible. I mean, why? Yes. Why? I'm glad they did it, right? But
even through like the Audi, remember the Audi 90, like they did a sedan and a convertible. That was like what you did. It was like accepted. Like convertibles were definitely hotter then. I do think a lot of people get their convertible fix from the Jeep Wrangler though. I bet you convertibles are just as popular now on a total unit basis when you factor in the Wrangler and the Bronco.
Perhaps, but like I guess it all leads to like, why do we think this has gone this way outside of the existence of the Nissan Rogue?
Don't you think though that plays a role? Like, okay, back in the day, if you wanted something fun, that was even slightly quick, you had to get a Paseo because the Corolla had 85 horsepower and was just a complete penalty box, right? And so you got a Paseo because it had 96 horsepower and it looked cool. But now you get a Rogue and it's doing 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. Like you don't have to get a sports car and you don't have to sacrifice the practicality, which is what you had to do back then.
But is it as fun? That's the thing,
no,
right?
Like, definitely not.
Not as fun, right?
But consumers
nor in appearance.
Consumers sit there and they think this is quick enough for me, and it's going to happen even more with electric cars, right? Because now you can lease a Model Y for really not that much and do 0 to 60 even faster than like an exotic.
I mean, so like I do think that is part of it. Is just like the democratization of speed, so to speak. I think maybe plays a role, but in some ways I think someone can take that same argument. Well, if all the powertrain is just this powerful thing. Like, can't you just put it in like a more fun body and sell them like hotcakes? And the market has proven no, apparently.
I don't think consumers want it. I think back then you couldn't take the power, like you couldn't make an SUV tenable in terms of the way, like in terms of performance. Like you just couldn't do it. They were all body on frame and slow, and that's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can. And so like if I'm a consumer sitting there thinking that 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds is like all I need, why would I get a Paseo when I can get a Rogue and not give up any of the practicality or sitting up high or any of that stuff, you know?
Maybe it's the average consumer has lost its appetite for fun.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like
I think the bean counters carry way more weight than they used to, right? Like you go back to like we're talking about, like especially beans in the late 80s, early 90s. What are your P&L statements? They're like stone tablets with someone carving numbers, right?
I'll bet you though that those cars made money. I'll bet you that if you went back there, like virtually every car we've mentioned made money.
But who cared at the end of the day, right? They were like, "Hey, I got an idea. Just take the top off that Metro." You know, there was no thought behind that,
right? Or we'll make the Achieva SCX. Like,
I mean,
who was clamoring for that?
At the time, it wasn't as difficult probably to develop a car, right? Like there weren't as many regs, like
feature creep,
so many emissions regulations now.
Safety,
safety has changed a lot, and so like that probably has played a role in it too. I think there's a range of things that has played a role for sure. I think it's consumers. I think it's the advent of speed and performance in cars that are easier to own, more practical. And definitely like regulatory. I mean, I have a book upstairs here, a consumer guide from 1991, and there were a lot more options in general in terms of like variety. Like now, I think there's probably just as many cars for sale, but there's so many different classes of SUV.
Right.
Like how many SUVs can Toyota sell? The answer is like, it's crazy. Yeah. But back then, there was a front-wheel drive coupe, there was a rear-wheel drive coupe, there was a four-seater coupe, there was a Camry coupe, there was a Camry wagon. There was a lot more different variants, whereas the market has definitely kind of moved a little bit more away from that stuff.
Yeah, and just thinking about regulatory creep, feature creep, it does make me think like cars are so freaking big now.
Yeah.
Where maybe I don't want to own a small convertible car because I'm afraid I'm going to get T-boned by a retiree in an Escalade after they're drinking a bottle of White Zin at 10 a.m. on the way to pickleball. I don't,
those are oddly specific.
So, I have to get the SUV because I sit higher. Now I feel safer and now I won't die.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's got a component as well. I don't know.
I think the other thing is once you gave consumers the ability to sit up high, that's just what they wanted.
Such a commanding position.
Like people just prefer it so much. Like you talk to anybody. I mean, they make the Audi A8. I don't know if you know this, but the Audi A8 now when you open the door rises.
That sounds like it's not going to be a problem outside of warranty. That's going to be fine forever.
Perfect for lease.
Literally nobody who buys that car. So I don't think it is going to be that much of a problem out of warranty.
Right.
They've sold 11 of those. People just really want that. So you've lost, Frank. You know what the thing is? You've lost your small front wheel drive coupe and convertible, just like in the 1800s they lost the damn horse. That's what you are right
Horses
now.
For courses. I'm a frozen horse.
I can't believe they took away the horse and buggy. I just gotten to figure out how to run my horse. You should be thanking the automakers for still offering a few of these cars.
I should grovel in front of them.
You should say, I know you can no longer put a 1.8 liter V6 inside of a Mazda little hatchback, but I'm so glad that you still give us the Miata and some sort of Mazda 3 that's relatively quick.
Well, is that it then? Is that a wrap? Like, are there no more? Is this it? It's only downhill from here as far as like fun cars. Do we think there's ever a possibility for a large selection of whimsy and fun and bright colors?
I do think that will come in the form of electric cars. I agree on. I think you're going to see automakers trying to differentiate their EVs more and more because the powertrain isn't a differentiation. And so I think you're going to see weird stuff like an Ioniq 5 off-road version, and like which exists insanely, and there's gonna have to be more weird stuff that comes out of that.
Right.
But I do think, yes, the days of the Paseo are gone. Dead.
Ah, man.
Harsh. But that's why we have our charge, right? We have to rescue and restore these obscure cars and keep them on the road to keep the spirit alive.
Right. Big Paseo energy.
There's so few of these cars left, and you know what? There's so few people who are really into them anymore either, which is sad. Like, you know,
what would you be searching for if you were going to pick up something? I know you mentioned the MR2. Is there any like when you're back on cars and not spending 6+ figures?
If I were to go back into that realm of those types of cars, I would love a Spirit RT. I have always wanted a Spirit RT. I have always, I got close on buying a few of them. They were $5,000 used cars you could find in the newspaper. You know?
Hell yeah.
Now you can't find them anywhere. But I would always have wanted a Spirit RT. I thought they were the coolest things in the world. What else from that era did I really love? I did love the Escort GT, but I just wasn't quite quick enough. Like the MR2. Never got really into the Hondas. They never had that much power. I mean, an Integra Type R, of course, but that's everybody likes that car. Although the early GSRs, like the pre-94 GSRs, are pretty cool too, and they're not around.
Yeah, super
those
rare.
are really rad in that teal color.
You know what I really like that I actually think sometimes about getting is early WRXs, which are importable from Japan, and for some reason
they're free.
To me, it seems like that car is like seminal in the car world, and those cars should cost money, but they don't. They're like 12 grand, if that. It's like so weird.
Right.
I like those cars a lot. Those are cool.
Yeah, no, those are really good. We were talking a few episodes ago, all things Prelude, because the current one, talk about a fun, affordable car, right?
Oh my God.
Dude, I spent 10 minutes with those guys, 15 minutes in front of my house when they dropped off the car, talking through the pricing. And
none of it made sense.
Eventually, we were just at odds and we moved on with our lives.
Jeez.
Like, couldn't they have basically had the same product but put the Civic Si powertrain and drivetrain in it?
I don't know that would have been that much better, though, ultimately. Like, the hybrid
if it was $10,000 cheaper.
The hybrid is faster than the Si.
Yeah.
You know? Like, either one of them, I think, would have been a disappointment. Like the problem, as I've started to realize, and I didn't mention this in my video, but it hit me the other day. Prelude buyers have a nostalgia for the Prelude,
right?
But then they have more money now, right? Like than they did in 1997. So they can afford a more expensive car. But what they don't have nostalgia for is a car that has 200 horsepower. Like in their minds, cars have gotten faster. They're willing to pay more. But like they've experienced a Tesla, and they're not going to now want to go into a car that has the same horsepower level as their Prelude from back in the day.
Right, sure.
It's like you're trading on the nostalgia, but you're not actually giving people. It's a wild decision to me. Totally wild. They told me they hope to sell 4,000 of those a year. I think it'll be just that, if that.
Yeah, that seems like a tough sell. And just I don't know. We don't need to spend too much time on the ghost of the Prelude. When the good ones were like, I'm a 4th gen truther personally.
5th gen, buddy. 5th gen's where it's at.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 4th gen was the 5th gen was the one with the tail light in the back that made the little circles. The 6th gen was the last one, right? It ended in 01.
No, the current is the 6th.
This is the 6th. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. The 5th was the best. What do you have? 4th?
So 4th. There we go.
The 5th is like notorious, like it's beloved in the automotive community.
Oh, I want the 4th gen, dog.
He's just
that
a counterpoint
cool interior
kind of guy.
With like the you've got that
dissenter.
Really cool dash, like the Geordie LaForge looking cluster. Nope. I don't know, whatever.
You're wrong.
What about remember
4-wheel steering?
Remember the Accord coupe from that era that had the NSX rear end?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
like the '99 coupe.
The glass automatic that would just shatter every 10 years.
Yeah. There you go. No,
those were cool.
Those were cool.
I do agree. I think maybe not like tomorrow in the world of EV, but I think as like battery tech gets better and hopefully the potential weight on some of these smaller EVs can come down a little bit, you might see, I know there's all the hand wringing and back and forth on the EV Boxster. we'll have to see what that looks like once it's out. I'm not holding my breath.
I think
but
the real key with the EVs is it just simply does not cost all that much to develop different variants.
Right.
Just like it used to maybe back in the day when you'd share platforms more. So like you have this skateboard chassis and this battery technology put in 6 different cars, and it's really not as hard as, having to do that. It's so you can make it ID3 and ID4 and ID Buzz, right? Like, and it really comes down to just like design and architecture of the physical body at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could see a world in which they can make more kind of fun and interesting stuff. It may actually be beneficial. And if it feels like it shifts, then aren't we fine with that?
Or, I mean, you just do what the Chinese manufacturers are doing and make them jump and like float and all that stuff.
And eject the battery when you don't need it anymore.
Right.
I wish my EV would jump. It's annoying that I don't have a car that jumps.
You and Crisscross. Who else? I don't know.
Were they happy about
Pain? House of Pain was big
happy
about jumping.
About having to jump, Frank? Is that, I don't know if that's factually true. I think they were quite upset about it.
Since we're discussing vehicles from this era, I want to show you a car model that I have on my desk.
Oh my.
You brought up this high performance Mercury Tracer that I had never heard of. I'm about to blow y'all's mind. Okay. You think you guys are into the front wheel drive weird cars in the late 80s, early 90s scene?
What do we got?
Let's see it.
You see this? You know what this is?
It's a Daewoo.
Daewoo Cielo. Okay. Do you remember that front wheel drive Pontiac Le Mans in the early 80s and mid 80s?
That's a Daewoo.
Boom.
Oh, is that the KDM sedan version?
I think this was the original, and the Le Mans they took from this. I think this is the OG.
Oh, wow.
Got it. Fantastic.
That's real. That's real.
Dude, my favorite thing about Daewoo was their font for their models where you could not read it. That was my favorite part about it.
Yes,
good choice.
Big Laganza. Yeah, nobody's actually pining for the days of the Laganza.
How about that? Are there cars? How about that? Forget about performance. Like, do you guys? You talk about car. Oh, someone needs to be there to carry on the legacy of these cars. What about the cars that weren't fun but are still like interesting, like the Nubira hatchback, which was 99 only, by the way, or like Saturns and stuff? Like, do you feel any obligation to the Saturns, or do you only feel it to the slightly more performance oriented Toyota Paseo?
I think there's a following, especially for Saturns. Those people they're just freaking weird. And they had the Launchpad experience back in the day. They still want to relive those times. There's still like Saturn truthers out there. We got to embrace them as well, right? I'll take an SC2 from the early 90s.
I saw a nice SL2 today.
Or take an SW2, the wagon with a manual. Yeah. Ooh, that's a Saturn flex. I'm not ready for that yet, but I'm going to work into it.
I haven't seen one of those in forever.
Pretty unicorny right now.
Yeah. I did see a View Redline, which are not super uncommon just yet. Probably because they had Honda powertrains.
Yeah.
So they're still around. But
although remember, all the V6 Views had Honda V6.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the only View you're going to see on the road in 10 years. Although, you know what? They probably had transmission problems, didn't they?
Exactly. They had to have. Yeah.
That's the great irony of the whole thing. General Motors organized this whole plan to get some reliability into Honda showrooms, and then the cars ended up being unreliable anyway.
That's the old GM touch.
Oh, man.
They still managed to screw it up.
Yeah,
God.
Boy. Yeah, the badge engineering and the crossovers, the Pontiac Vibe GTs of the world, may they rest in peace.
Also another thing that I think about with regards to fun and consumers is that fun has also changed a little bit. Like, at least here in California, I think, and I'm sure you guys feel this way, like Forerunners are cool, like Paseos were cool. Like, there was a time when like, I got a Paseo, I got like a zippy car.
Yeah.
Forerunner is like cool now. Like a Maverick is like a cool. Like, if you want cool, like, I think the definition of cool has also changed since that era. Like, I think a Civic Coupe wouldn't be cool in the way that like spending the same money on even like a used Forerunner or something like that like would be.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But as a middle-aged bearded white guy, I feel like I should be the arbiter of cool. You know, the world needs to get the world needs to adjust to my thought of cool when I was in high school or whatever.
I do think about this a lot though, because there are often times you'll run into one of those cars on the road still, and you're like, I cannot believe that there was a period where automakers could justify having 5 two-door cars in the lineup. You know,
not even justified. It was almost mandatory. Same with like convertible, as we said, like every manufacturer, you know, your Mercury Capri XR2, your all of that's like just everyone had to have, you know, whether they were doing like that Mercury Capri, they're like panic move to bring a convertible into their lineup. So they drag it out of Australia.
Can you name the 2 other Mercuries in my entire lifetime that did not have a direct Ford twin in the United States, aside from the Capri XR2?
The final generation Cougar.
Yes, and
oh man, there's got to be like a rebadged.
This is hard.
Yeah, because Marauder's out obviously for Crown Vic.
Right.
I'm trying to think, like end times Mercury was a hell of a thing. Trying to think if
that's one way to say it.
That when it was just the death rattle of every domestic brand, when it was just a brand engineering exercise for like 5 model years.
I'll take one of those late Cougars with a manual V6 in yellow, though. I mean, if we're going to be serious for a second,
they were cool. They were cool cars.
Pretty futuristic looking.
Gosh, Chadwick, you gonna bail me out on this?
You know,
one?
I'm stumbling a little bit on this one. Mercury.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. There were 2 generations of it.
Ooh, technically. Gosh,
you want to know?
I feel like it's gonna be like.
It's not the minivan. It's not the Villager.
It's the Villager.
There we go.
It pissed you off because the Villager had a direct twin, but it was a Nissan.
Right. It was the Quest.
Yeah.
That was how Ford. Let's take Mercury. Let's give him one unique non-Ford product. Only problem is it still has an exact twin.
Of course.
Right. It's just a more trusted name in Nissan. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just a complete disaster. What a car company that was. What an easy decision it must have been to kill that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of those Oldsmobile and Plymouth where just like at the end, it was just like, what are we even doing, guys?
Yeah, Buick is still with us somehow. China.
Yeah.
I still don't really understand why Buick sticks around. Like, I get that they're into it in China, but like, why do you have to keep it in the States? There's absolutely no interest or market in it. You know,
nothing.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I do see more and more.
Yeah,
like Encore GXs or whatever.
You know, I've been talking about this recently with Filippo, our buddy. GM SUVs have had a resurgence. Like, we were almost out of GM. Like, GM was really kind of death rattling all these cars. Not the Tahoe and Suburban, which always been popular in the trucks, but like crossovers. Like the Equinox was old. The Blazer was old. There was nothing else. And now I see Traxxas and Trailblazers and the new Traverse and the EVs, the Blazer EV and the Equinox EV are some of the most popular electric cars of all. And it's like GM has like battled back on crossovers. And I'm
wild.
How did this happen?
Against all odds.
Against all odds.
Yeah. It just, I don't know.
Against all transmission odds, they've battled back.
It was the rental fleets and nothing else. And now you don't have to be in like Indiana to see them. Like, there's Traverses like around.
It's wild.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Speaking of against all possible odds, we have a game that we like to play on this here pod. And I know, Doug, that you've listened to all 209-ish episodes of the pod here repeatedly. So you're well versed. So I'm going to explain this not for you,
right?
But for the listener, for the first time listener. And so this is how this works. And you are going to be our contestant on our quiz today, which is our print ad quiz game. What's going to happen is I have found a print advertisement for a vehicle from the 80s and 90s up until about the mid 2000s.
Okay.
I'm going to read the print copy. I'm going to redact out like the year, the make, the model.
Yeah.
And then we'll be incumbent.
I'm going to get them all. How many you got?
Oh, okay. We normally we just do one. But if you're feeling like that, okay, all right.
Let's spicy index.
Let's do it. Okay. I was going to offer you
a couple
options.
Are you going to say the engine or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Great. Got this.
If it's like, if it's like Variocam, I might like bleep that out.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
But otherwise, I'll read it. So okay, well let's
By the
see
way,
then.
this is a great game because do you remember back then you could put like text in your ads, like a lot of
Absolutely. There are a lot of cars that I would love to be able to do this with, but every ad is like 4 words. Right? Like once you get to the mid 2000s, it's just a picture. You have the neon just says hi.
Well, that was good.
Right?
That was
or the
great
new Beetle.
But
Which just says turbo.
In the 80s and 90s, I have above my desk here, I have some Range Rover owners still check their own oil. Do you know this ad where there's a picture of a Range Rover and it's actually positioned on a mountaintop next to an oil field? And the tagline is some Range Rover owners still check their own oil.
That's brilliant.
And it's obviously, it's so, like you could never get away with this in today's world.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Well, what's wild is I remember there's one that we did where I don't remember what the vehicle was specifically, but it touted its power steering as making it easily woman handleable. And it's like, holy smokes. Yeah. Like
it's a moment in time.
Yeah. Just, and now now you have no like denigration of
right.
of anyone because you don't even have words, which is a shame. Right. So here's how this works. I'm gonna since you're so I'm not even gonna put a time limit because you're gonna nail this.
I'm gonna nail it.
And so let me give you I'll give you a shorter one, and if you crush it immediately, and I think you probably will, then I've got a slightly more difficult one. And you get 3 guesses.
Do you give me an era, or am I just flying blind here?
You're flying based on, when they start talking about SRS or anti-lock brakes,
right?
Or,
you get an
or
idea.
Fuel injection. Like this is how these are the mile markers here.
If it's too old, I'm going to be mad at you. But all right, fine.
No, it won't be pre-1980.
Okay.
So this one we've got it looks like a 2-page ad. The vehicle in question is very sinister looking. It's dark. The headlights are on. There's a road sign, and then it says, with all its technological firsts, it still comes down to seconds. It took less than 5 seconds to run 0 to 60 on our test track, and 13.06 seconds in the quarter mile.
Wow,
a whirlwind power trip. It's the new blank from blank. The blank is the most this font is quite small. Is the most significant performance vehicle of the 90s. So you are getting a little hint there.
Yeah.
Boasting 280 horsepower from an intercooled turbocharged 4.3 liter V6. Handling clean and precise. The blank is the first ever production pickup with 4-wheel anti-lock. Plus, there's on-road all-wheel drive, performance-tuned suspension, and speed-rated tires.
You went too far. You should have bleeped out more stuff. Cyclone, give me another one.
Yes, okay, perfect.
I'm sitting here thinking, who had a turbo 4.3 liter V? What a bizarre engine.
Yeah, no, that was the easy one. The slightly
blinked out pickup truck and a couple other things, but all right.
All right, here we go. Here's the follow-up.
Yep.
This is a different one-page ad. We've got the vehicle. We're just looking at the passenger side. There's a bunch of hudcaps on the wall behind it.
By the way, the Cyclone, the most significant performance vehicle of the 90s.
That's why I like that ad, because it's so absurd.
A lot of facts in these ads.
It's not even the most important performance vehicle of the 90s in GM's lineup. Like there's
everything.
The ZR1 and whatever. Anyways. So this one says, why follow the crowd when you can draw one of your own?
Okay.
In the race to garner greater market share, the world's manufacturers of high-performance cars have succeeded in creating a new class of automobile. Stratospherically priced 2-seaters and 4-seaters declare that you have both the money and the ability to follow the herd.
True, yeah.
Even once called exotics are being cranked out at such speeds that they, too, are lately looking rather common.
Right.
Which leads us to the question, if you're seeking a car that is truly special, why end up driving a cliche? The blank, an opportunity to outdistance the pack. For the price of a high-performance car, you should expect a perfectly made, handcrafted automobile that is truly individual. We give you that. Everything about the blank is designed to encourage outstanding performance in both driver and automobile. Touch the accelerator and you will notice responsive, not too dissimilar from its Formula One brethren. Its turbocharged power will rocket you from 0 to 60 somewhere around the 5-second range, in what editors of Motor Trend call, quote, an F16 on full afterburn. And its Formula One inspired double wishbone suspension will give you road prowess that, quote, in short, exemplifies the handling in which one expects of a car carrying the blank badge. You should find it reassuring that blank is one of the few automotive companies left that still creates each car by hand in limited quantities to ensure that only the highest level of performance, comfort, and reliability. From its composite structure body shell to its hand-lapped valves to its hand-sewn leather interior of carefully matched Conley hides, each component is meticulously crafted for exemplary performance, down on the road as well as on. I don't know what that means. Only this commitment of world mass production can provide you with a car of thoroughbred feel, along with a warranty unusual for a car of such credentials.
Wow.
A 2-year unlimited mileage limited warranty, plus 8-year anti-corrosion coverage on the chassis. But the cost of all the aforementioned performance need not be so high, as the editors of Motor Trend believe, quote, it's an automotive in the automotive of this strata, the blank represents somewhat of a bargain in comparison shopped against its competition. But who is exactly the competition? Just look at the crowds. Then call us at 1-800-blank, and we'll show you the fastest way to attract a few crowds of your own. For the few who know the difference. That's the ad.
Boy, that's really something.
See how they were wordy back then?
There's some red herrings in there.
Oh, are there?
Well, you mentioned the Formula One.
Mm-hmm.
So you're thinking NSX, right? But that's not hand-built, and they never would have claimed that it was.
No.
And then they're getting into Connolly leather. So that gives you an idea. Is this from an American magazine? Or is this a Bristol Blenheim? I swear to God, Frank, if this is a Bristol Blenheim, I'm going to kill you.
No, this was sold in North America. This is a US market vehicle. And as a reminder, it does say its turbocharged power will rocket you from 0 to 60 in somewhere around 5 seconds. Yeah, so that is a hint as well.
You think I didn't? You think I'm not? Come on.
Hey, you were talking NSX.
Well, but the turbocharged stuff came later. Frank, I'm gonna be honest. That was like 6 minutes a copy, and only about 9 words mattered.
Correct. That's why they don't do it this way anymore.
Yeah.
I think that it's probably just based on all of that stuff. What I would guess is it's a Bentley Turbo R.
Ooh. Interesting.
But I don't know where the Formula One crap comes from.
Okay. Well, let me start you out. It is not a Bentley Turbo R.
Okay.
As for a hint, and the Conley leather hinted at this, you are in the right country of origin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, I figured it was British, but like what other British cars at that era were turbocharged and tried to claim that they were hand built? Certainly Jaguar wasn't doing any of that.
Could I lend you an obscure hint on this one?
If it's a Bristol, I'm going to kill him.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't think it is.
Chadwick doesn't know either. I did not spill the beans onto what
I have
this
a
is.
strong idea of what
He's your
Frank
photo
is
friend, though.
Babbling on about over there, about Conley leather. He did mention the badge. Right, Frank, you mentioned something. I forget.
Yeah,
don't go back and read. It's page 15, paragraph 7. It mentioned a badge, and if I'm correct on this car, that badge also showed up on some Isuzu models.
You're thinking it's a Lotus?
I've got strong feelings.
Because the quote is, in short, exemplifies the handling of what one expects of a car carrying a blank badge.
But so much of the ad was devoted to the luxury of the car. It's hand built with
Conley leather, Doug.
Don't you want to stand out, Doug? Don't you want to stand out?
This is an Esprit. This is a Lotus Esprit.
I don't know. Is this the guess?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. This is
ridiculous.
The X180 Lotus Esprit.
They were trying to convince people that it was like something more than it was. I just did a video in the garage right before this about like quirkiest cars for 25 grand. You know, those Turbo Esprits are like that money. They're like not that expensive.
Well, they're 25 grand to buy and another 25 to make roadworthy, and then another 25.
You of all people are going to say that? Are you out of your mind?
Yes.
You got a Turbo Sprint behind you. I mean, how much harder could it be? I bet it's easier to find a Lotus mechanic.
Well, maybe there's not too many Suzuki cultist mechanics.
Don't you agree that ad makes it seem like Lotus is trying to like reach a higher level demographic than they should have been?
There was no truth to
advertisement. That along with just the tenor of the ad is so British.
It's very British, even though that car is like very, like
Legos,
high performance.
Right.
We have a Elan in the office right now, a front wheel drive Elan.
Oh, no way. The M100? Or is it a Kia Elan?
Dude, if it was a Kia Elan, I'd buy it. I wouldn't have told you about it. I would just have it.
You would have been frank. Check out my new Kia Elan.
Do you think there are any of those Kia Elans? Like, really?
There's a few.
I mean, we've all seen a couple, like the same 4 photos that go around the internet, but do you think there are actually any of them? Do you know what I mean?
Right. Or is it like the Bentley Dominator? Yeah, I don't know. Right, there you go.
I've only got 5 car models up here, and we've now covered 2 of them.
Oh boy, that's gonna be the next time we do this. That'll be the game within the game.
Right.
Is guess Doug's car models. Fantastic. All right. Well, I know we're right up against it. Before we shamelessly promote what the hell we're up to, Doug, do you have anything to shamefully promote or shamelessly promote?
I don't know. I don't like to promote stuff. I always find it awkward. Anyway, you go ahead.
Oh, great.
I find it weird to do that, but feel free.
Chadwick, tell the people. People can't see me, so I'm more of this like voice in the void. Why don't you tell the people what the hell we're doing and what you're doing?
Yeah, it's a benefit to everybody, man. So good sacrifice there. No, thanks, guys, for tuning in. This is APA Podcast, another Pointless Automotive podcast. Check us out wherever you listen to podcasts. We're also on YouTube, barely, and Instagram in an obscenely low amount. That's pretty much it. I don't know. That's about it, man. That's all I got.
Yeah,
check us out.
Yeah, check us out. We're doing the Patreon thing now. So patreon.com/APA pod. And Doug has already told us before we started recording that if we get 5,000 Patreon members, he'll come back on the pod with us. And we'll all collectively try DMT together, which will be good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Chadwick and Frank, the most stately named duo of any podcast, short of one that covers the royal family.
It's befitting to cover Lotus cars with that namesake. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Fantastic.
Right.
Well, Douglas, it's been swell. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
fun cars are not dead yet.
Oh boy. Exactly. Hey, before we go, you got to tell us what's the candle scented like? Candle reveal.
One of those anthropology volcano candles. You know those?
Absolutely not.
That was a deep cut on candles right there.
You got to spend more time with your wife in the mall.
What's a mall? Anyways,
the mall is dead like the fun car.
All right. Well, goodbye.
Later.
Goodbye.
All righty.